Your assignment is to do the last two on this homework file. And this is the ambiguous case for the law of sines. For each question in this section, determine how many triangles are possible using the given information. For each possible triangle, list 3 angles round the nearest whole degree. So we're going to use the law of sines here. So we have sine of 30 degrees is to 9 is equal to sine of angle B, which we don't know, over 8. Remember that the next step is to cross multiply. So we have 9 sine B is equal to 8 times the sine of 30 degrees. Not the last step, but the next step is to divide by 9. And then we're going to get the inverse sine of the right side to find the angle. And that angle is angle B. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to my functions. Inverse sine. Remember to make sure that you're working in degrees. This is what I showed you in class. So we're going to type in 8 function sine of 30 degrees. And all of this is going to be divided by 9. And it says round to the nearest whole degree, so it's going to be 26. So that's the first angle, 26. So we have the possibility of A1, which is 30. B1 is 26. And then to find angle C, we have 180 minus 30 degrees minus 26 degrees, right? So we have 180 minus 30 degrees minus 26. And so we get a positive angle, so C1 is equal to 124 degrees. Now the other possibility, we have A2 is equal to 30 degrees. Now the 26, we have to subtract 180 from 26. So let me go ahead and do that here. So we have 180, well, let me clear this here. We have 180 minus 26. That's the other possible angle. That's why it's called the ambiguous case. I don't know why I did that. 180 minus 26, which is 5154. So now we're going to try to find, and that should be angle 2, B2. So we're going to go ahead and figure this out and see if there's another possible triangle. So we have 180 minus 30 degrees minus 154. And you notice that we have an angle of 0. And it should have been 154, so let me just make this 154. It's not possible. So there's only one possibility for this question number 1. Okay, number 2, we're going to repeat the process. So we have the sine of 35 degrees is to 7 equals the sine of B over 10. So what you're going to do now is you're going to go ahead and cross multiply. So you have 10 times the sine of 35 degrees is equal to 7 times the sine of B. And since we're solving for B, we're going to divide both sides by 7. So what we have is we have the sine of b is equal to 10 sine of 35 degrees over 7. So to find that angle, we're going to have to use the inverse sign. So you're going to say inverse of 10 times the sine of 35 degrees over 7. And that's going to give you angle B. And that's what we're looking for. So let's go ahead and use our calculator. And you go to the bottom of Desmos, go to the functions, and we're going to go to inverse sine. Go ahead and type in 10 function sine of 35 degrees. Remember, you need to make sure that you're in degrees. And then you're going to divide by 7, and we get 55 degrees since we rounded off to the nearest degree. So A1 is equal to 35 degrees. B1 is equal to 55 degrees. And now we got to find C1. Remember, to find the third angle, we're going to go ahead and we have 180 minus 35 minus 55, because the sum of the angles in a triangle are 180. So we have 180 minus 35 minus 55. So now the second possibility, we have A1 is 35 degrees. A2, angle 2, angle A2. The second possibility for B, we're going to get 180, and we're subtracting 55, which you get 125. So we have 125. Let me clear this real quick. So we have 180 minus 35 minus 125. Remember, the sum of the angles is 180. So our third angle is equal to 20. So there's two triangles in this example. There's two possibilities, okay? For number 3, we're going to use, again, the law of sines. So we have the sine of 40 degrees is to 8 equals the sine of angle B, which we don't know, over 10. So what we're going to do is we're going to cross multiply. So we have 8 times the sine, we're cross multiplying, 8 times the sine of B, and let me fix that real quick. Sine of B is equal to 10 sine of 40. Now we're going to divide both sides by 8. So we have the sine of B is equal to 10 sine of 40 degrees over 8. So to find that angle, we're going to have to use the inverse sign again. So write down B is equal to the inverse sign, because it's asking for the ratio, and the ratio is 10 sine of 40 degrees over 8. So I'm going to go to Desmos, and I'm going to go to the functions. I'm going to go to inverse sine, and then just type it in the way you see it. 10 functions sine of 40 degrees. Remember to make sure that you're in degrees. Divided by 8. And that gives you 53 degrees. Okay, so angle A, the first possibility, is 40 degrees. Angle B, the first possibility, is 53 degrees. Angle A is 40 degrees. Angle B2, we have to do 180 minus 53. So we have 180 minus 53, which gives us 127. So now to find C1, we know that the sum of the angles is 180. So we have 180 minus 53 minus 40, the two angles. So we get 87. I think I saw 87. So the second triangle is 127, and we get 13 degrees. So we do have We have two possibilities. Okay, number 4, we have triangle ABC. We have the measurement of angle A, 70 degrees, and we have those two-side measurements. So once again, we're going to use sine of 70 degrees is to 20. And of course, we don't know what the sine of B is. And it's going to be over 30. And since it's a proportion, we're going to go ahead and cross multiply. So we have 20 sine of B is equal to 30 times the sine of 70 degrees divided by 20. So we have the sine of B is equal to 30 sine of 70 degrees over 20. And then what we're going to do is we're going to find the inverse. So you have 30 sine of 70 degrees over 20. So I'm using the TI-84 calculator now. So I'm going to go to mode, make sure that I'm in degrees, because if I'm not in degrees, I'm going to get the wrong answer. And I'm going to say 30 times the sine of 70 divided by 20, and I'm going to see what I get. I get 1.4, but that will be a problem. You're going to see that right now. So we have second sine, because that's going to give the inverse sine. And I'm going to put the answer that I had there. Oh, wrong. Inverse sine. And I'm going to go ahead and put the answer. I think it's, second. There's the answer. And you're going to notice I'm going to get an error. I get an error because it's greater than 1, so no triangle is possible. No triangle is possible. So at this point, I do want you to stop the video, and then my goal is for you to do the next two on your own. Just follow the steps as I showed you. I hope that you were able to try to work out 5 and 6. Now I'm going to give you the solution. So once again, we're given a triangle ABC. The measurement of angle A is 10, so we're going to say the sine of 10 degrees is to, remember the ratio to 10, and then we have the sine of angle B is to 5. And now our next step is to cross multiply. So we have 10 sine of B is equal to 5 times the sine of 10 degrees. Divide by 10. So we have B, we have sine of B is equal to 5 over 10 is a half. So it's actually sine of 10 degrees divided by 2. We're going to introduce the inverse sine. So we say inverse sine, and then we have the sine of 10 degrees over 2. And we're going to make sure to round off to the nearest degree. So we have the sine of 10 divided by 2. I just wrote the expression right into the parentheses. And I get 4.9, which is 5 degrees. So for my first possibility, I have 10 degrees. And then my second angle is 5 degrees. So I'm looking at 15, 180 minus 15. That gives you 165, so that's the first triangle. The first triangle has an angle of 10 degrees, 5 degrees, and 165. The second triangle is still going to have angle 1 is 10, but now angle 2 is going to be 175, because 180 minus 5 is 175, and you notice 175 plus 10 gives you 185, so angle C is not possible. You'll get a negative angle. In fact, if I did 175 plus 5, that's already plus 10, I mean, is 185. 180 minus 180 is going to be negative 5 degrees, and that's not possible. Here was the last problem that you had for the homework. So you have the sine of 60 degrees is to 170, as the sine of b is 180. You're going to cross multiply, so you have 170, and of course it's degrees, of sine of b is equal to 180 degrees times the sine of 60 degrees. So what we're going to do now is we're going to divide by 170 both sides. So we have sine of b is equal to, and the zeros cancel, so we have 18 sine of 60 degrees over 17. What we're going to introduce now is the inverse sine. So the inverse sine is going to be 18 sine of 60 degrees over 17. So I'm going to go to the calculator. Once again, I'm going to clear this. Go to second sine, which gives me the inverse sine. And then you can just type it in, 18 sine of 60 degrees. And then, of course, you're dividing by 17. Close your parentheses. Yeah, that's it. And then it's going to be 66 degrees. So we have angle 1 is 60 degrees. Angle 2, or angle B, is 66 degrees. So angle C will be 180 minus 126, I think 54. So the second possibility is going to be 60 degrees. The second possibility for angle B is going to be 180 minus 66. It's 114. So now I'm going to add 114 plus the 60, which gives me 174. So that last angle is going to be very small. So it's going to be 6 degrees. So yeah, we have two triangles here. All right, so what I'm going to do now is once you finish, make sure you upload into It's Learning. Thank you.